Hey coin traders, this is Saturday. It is Saturday night about 8:50 p.m. It's been an exciting weekend so far. You know, Friday I told you guys that I would give you some analysis and talk to you about the some of the changes that we're making as far as the trading and the trading platform. Before I go on, I'd like to invite all of you guys to the live events that we're doing. We got a couple of them coming up. Just go to ecoin.events and check it out. If you're interested, you want to talk about coming to one of them, just go ahead and fill out that form. Be more than happy to have you there. You'll be a full-time trader by the time you leave. I wanted to 3-day intensive in Charlotte and Orlando. So let's talk about some of the major changes that are going on in cryptocurrency. Let me show you this chart. This is free for you guys if you want to keep it open on your desktop. It refreshes every 20 seconds. It's ecoin.university/ticker.php. I'll probably have the link underneath the video here, and I will put it under the link in my YouTube channel too, so you guys can find it there. So ecoin.university/ticker. So let me show you, these are the coins that I'm currently trading. I was only trading Bitcoin all of last year, and even until a couple weeks ago, just because there was no very safe and typical pattern that we could see. But what's happened is there's been a major switch, and I want to talk to you about that. Bitcoin has taken a major switch in the way that it's being traded and some of the things that we're showing. So we can see, just looking at this, we see this is a 24-hour period. The current price is $9,900. We're probably going to hit the $10,000 mark. We almost touched it yesterday, probably this evening. Definitely by tomorrow, Sunday sometime, it'll break 10,000. But it's been growing really slow. You can see that it's only been 1.9% growth in the last 24 hours. Ethereum's up almost 5%, 4.3. Litecoin's up 7.8, and Bitcoin Cash is up 17% in a 24-hour period. It's kind of skyrocketing. I'm actually not touching it because it's growing a little too fast for me, and there's been some rumors that there's been some manipulation in the market that caused that to happen. So I'd rather not be in Bitcoin Cash if they found out that they're actually messing with the technology behind the scenes to cause this to happen. So very safe to be in Litecoin and Ethereum. Litecoin's my favorite right now, and so let me show you some of the things that are going on. Move this out of the way, and let me show you the quick analysis. So here's what's going on. Bitcoin, I have all four of these on my chart, so if you guys have tradingview.com, you guys can share my chart out. If you're a paid member, you also have these little links on the side, so you can actually have my chart, copy it to your own folder, or just use mine and click through. So here's Ethereum. What I do is every day I'm looking at the chart and I'm putting in my track as to what I expect to have happen. So Ethereum, as you can see, is growing beyond its track. It's actually growing up and over, so that's a really good sign. It's up to 822. We were hoping it would break 800 this weekend, and it did. Bitcoin is the only disappointment in the crowd. It continues to hold this red line right here. This is the one-year trend, so it's actually good. I mean, in the long haul, if it weren't for the other coins doing better, this would actually be a really good sign. It's just not growing fast enough for us to be able to make 10% a week. And then Litecoin, which is currently my favorite, you can see that it is inside this track, and that's the one I'm going to talk to you about in a second. And here's Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is blowing everybody else away as far as its growth, but it's growing so fast, like I said, until it starts to see some equilibrium in here and starts to, you know, get a little bit of stable and a couple days or maybe a week away from some of the rumors about what's going on inside the organization. I'm probably not going to mess with it. It has the greatest potential for income, but it also has the greatest potential for loss. You don't want to be in at these prices at $1,500 a coin if it takes a dive and goes down. So Litecoin's really safe, and let me talk to you why. So I'm going to zoom out to a year. A year is a really good story that we're telling in the year-long chart. I'll back off over here. So here's one of my charts. This is actually a year trend. It's actually one of the only coins that didn't fall out under when it came down through that 3-month down cycle that we had from January. End of December, January, all the coins started to fall down. It's the only one that stayed within its yearly trend. As you can see right over here, it stayed at $117. And that's super strong, is that it was the only one to hold up and not break down below the year trend. So it hugged the year-long trend, and it's now continuing to stay on the bottom half of the year trend until it currently is doing what it's doing right now. It is just broken after this 3-month down. It has just broken this line right here, and every time that this has happened, we've seen an exponential growth in Litecoin. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what is going to happen, but I'm all in with Litecoin. I've taken all of my coins, sold everything. I got in here right around around 150, and then when it bounced, I sold again, and it bounced and I sold again. I got 2 or 3 bounces in the last 24 hours, so I made some really good money, probably, I don't know, $6,000 in the last couple of days. But I took advantage of those bounces, and now I'm all in waiting for it to take its growth. I'm really not trusting that it will come back down. It could. It very likely could, because as you can see, if you guys know anything about the RSI is kind of high, which means it's overbought. That means the sellers are going to start coming in and start selling off. But in the last year of action, every time it breaks through this line, it has this crazy growth, and it does it every couple months. It breaks the line and goes to the top half, and then starts to stay there for a little while. So if it does that in this one, we see that we're at 179. If it breaks and goes to the top of its trend, we're at 272. That is a huge growth. 272, 300, somewhere in that range. We can almost see a doubling in a very short amount of time, and that's what traditionally Litecoin has been doing. The other nice thing about Litecoin is it's a smaller price point. You know, it's only $150 to $180 a coin, and it's a little bit more attractive for some people to get in. Not that it makes any real difference, because it's about percentages. It's not about the price of the coin, but that's the way people think about it. You know, $180 a coin. So people are getting in. It's actually broken all the trends. Typically, what I would do is when it gets to this range right here, it's at 70, you know, the RSI is at 70, I would start selling off, expecting for a bounce. But because we see a historical pattern that it breaks up and out after it passes that point, I'm going to hold on to it and hope that it goes with its traditional pattern and comes back up to the 250. So there's almost no resistance to it going up to that point. There's normally some kind of resistance. As you can see, there's nobody above here waiting to sell out until we get pretty close to the 220 mark. So 220 is the only resistance we have. So we could see it hit pretty close to the top of this line, come down a little bit, and then probably break again up to the 300 and 350 range. I personally don't think it's going to go much farther over the line. It could, because we have some really good news coming up. I don't know if you guys saw the articles about what's going on in the trading industry. I'm not going to take your time on that. A lot of really positive spin on what's going on in cryptocurrency. A lot of big players are coming into the marketplace, and we're probably going to see double the amount of volume that we've seen. So let me show you something else about volume. What people are referring to as market cap. We'll talk about market cap in another video. Just briefly, this is how much money is actually being traded. The market cap back here was $327 million, or is it $1 billion? It's a lot. As we can see, that our growth is our market cap is pretty significant. Let me zoom in here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. What we're hoping to see is that the market cap comes back up here to the half a billion dollar mark again, and we're probably going to see that. We're seeing a nice little upward trend. And what we've heard from Coinbase and some of the other companies, if Wall Street gets involved, we'll probably see double market cap. So if we see 294 down and we get $600 billion into this thing, it's going to be pretty significant. It's going to get the world's attention, and we're going to see some pretty crazy growth. So if that happens, one of the things you want to do is pick a coin and hold on. Not try to trade it, because you don't want to be out of the coin when it takes a leap upward. So stay tuned to all the signals. You know, the signals, listening to other people, getting other people's opinions, getting a little bit of market understanding to know when to trade and if you're going to trade. Here's the thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about, though, is the percentage of total market capitalization. So if you were to look at this orange chart, which is Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin's dominance. It owned 63% back here, and as you can see, it dropped down to 34, and then it took a little bit back to 44, and now it's back down again. If you were to look at this chart on any other stock report, you would say that the stock that you're holding is in really bad shape, and that's what I'm saying with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still the king. But what it's showing is, because it's not growing, let me show you this again, it's only growing 1.6% in the last 24-hour period, and its competitors are growing 17%, you know, 10, 15, 17% in a single 24-hour period, and Bitcoin's almost stagnant. It's saying that people are starting to show some more interest in some of these other coins. And so here are the other coins underneath. We got Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ripple. Those are the majority leaders in the marketplace, and as you can see, Bitcoin only takes up 36% now. If it doesn't see something significant in the technology or in some news or some story, Bitcoin's gonna lose its dominance. As you can see right back here, it almost did. You can see that Ethereum was at 32 and Bitcoin was at 38. Ethereum almost took over the top spot. And once a coin does that, it's going to lose a lot of confidence in the Bitcoin space. If these guys start taking over, as you can see right now, Bitcoin only owns 1/3. All these other coins take up more space than Bitcoin does. So for the very first time in my trading history, I'm saying that Bitcoin's not necessarily the king. And if this trend continues, then we're going to see the altcoins. This is going to be the year of the altcoins. I really think 2018 is going to be huge. I think we're going to start seeing the kind of growth that we saw last year, which is the doubling of some of your coins every 90 days. You know, with that kind of doubling, you don't even have to trade. You just put your coin, you pick your favorite coin and sit and hold and watch it grow, and just watch for the signals when you want to get out, because, you know, at a certain point, everybody starts getting in. There starts to be a fear of loss. People are like, oh, I'm so excited. It starts to become a little bit of a bubble. You want to know when that happens. Watch other people who've experienced traders and don't get caught up in the hype, and learn how to margin yourself out, so that if it does take a correction, or it dives back down in correction, you actually walk away with some pretty decent profits. So pay attention. Come to the class. We'd love to have you there. Orlando, Charlotte. We're going to do Syracuse, New York very soon. So fill out the form. Love to see you there. See you on the next one.